when kids are 8 months and beyond, pediatricians say don't give salt to babies. But you talk about giving salt to babies. How dare you?
Yeah, I think that, again, I wrote the book with, I want people to take what they're most comfortable with. So I use salt sparingly in recipes for the minerals, and it can help with digestion and help increase the nutrients of the food.
Why would you use it sparingly? That doesn't seem to make any
Well,
sense.
I mean, yeah, I use it kind of sparingly, but you would have a heavy hand, it sounds like. So I think go with whatever you're comfortable with. But yeah, I use salt in the cookbook, and if you Google salt and baby, I mean, no one, when I was starting to feed my children, no salt. And anytime you have a recipe out there with salt, it's like, don't give this to babies under 1. And just through my own kind of reading up on it, I just, agreed to disagree.
What did you find in your research on salt and digestion in babies?
Well, I like the cookbook that was the most inspiring to me, or the book, was Nourishing Traditions by Sally Fallon. And she,
book.
yeah, it really is. And I give her a lot of credit to making me feel more confident as a mom in the choices that I was making in the kitchen for my children. And she kind of gets into the talking about salt and children, and I kind of felt more comfortable than not.
Almost 20 years ago, when I was running Palo Alto's first anti-aging nonprofit education group, before I started the biohacking movement, I gave this really carefully researched talk on salt and the history of why we decided salt was bad for us. It's not. We used to eat about 20 grams of salt a day because we didn't have refrigerators, and all of our meat and all of our fish was salted. And it did not cause high blood pressure. It did not cause problems. It gave us a ton of minerals. And so our salt consumption has dropped so much that if you were to follow the FDA's guidelines, and why anyone would listen to them after the last 3 or 4 years, I don't know. But if you still followed their guidelines and had less than 2.4 grams of salt a day for an adult, that is so low that it increases your heart attack risk. Because when sodium is too low, it increases stress, which increases a hormone in the blood called rennet, which increases heart attack risk. But if you were to instead have 4 grams, or when I do 8 grams a day for my body weight and to keep my blood pressure where I want it, it completely changes your digestion, changes your life. And if you're on a keto or a carnivore diet, you need even more. So the idea that your baby is supposed to not have salt, even though salt helps with the stress response, no, you probably don't want to have a heavy hand of salt, but you do want a little bit of salt because we're made out of salt water. And how's your baby supposed to hydrate if it doesn't have a little bit of salt? So that advice is absurd. It's wrong-headed, and it doesn't make any sense. So the idea that somehow babies are little aliens that don't need normal nutrients, a lot of that's overblown. But don't give your little babies honey, right? That seems like that might be a problem.
Right.